In 1996, when the post-apartheid South African government wrote its constitution, it enshrined the right to access to adequate housing in the document and called for the state to take reasonable legislative and other measures toward the progressive realization of this right. But since then, the backlog of people waiting for adequate housing in the country has actually increased, from 1.5 million in 1994 to 2.1 million today. One big problem is the proliferation of informal settlements, areas where groups of people build houses, often one-room shacks, on land they don't own. In Johannesburg's Alexandra Township, the largest informal settlement is Setswetla, built on the banks of the Jukskei River that splits the township in half. Though its population fluctuates, the city estimates that around 3,000 people live there right now, most of them in corrugated iron shacks. Residents of Setswetla are a mixture of foreigners and South Africans, many of whom have moved into Johannesburg from the country's more rural provinces in search of jobs. That can create tensions, especially when foreigners are moved to government housing before citizens.
Sometimes are the foreigners, they don't have ID, but they're staying here, and they are South African citizens. So it's frustrating, it's boring. It can cause us even a xenophobia, because we are bored. We are the one who vote, but we don't receive any service.
That's Lloyd Ndlovu, a 24-year-old who's lived in Setswetla his entire life. Right now, he stays in a one-room shack with his wife and 2 children. That one room triples as bedroom, kitchen, and bath, though clean water is a 15-minute walk away, outside the settlement. And even though both his children aren't old enough to go to school yet, Ndlovu worries that the informal settlement will make it difficult for them to study because of the loud music that gets played at all hours. Another issue in Setswetla are the chemical toilets, which are often located on the outskirts of an informal settlement. They're emptied a couple of times a week by a waste disposal company, but residents say they're unhygienic and dangerous to visit at night because of the possibility of robbery and, for women, sexual assault. Trash is piled up around the chemical toilets. With few dumpsters or garbage cans in Setswetla, people tend to leave their waste at the edge of the settlement. Since it's right next to the Jukskei, the river now overflows with garbage, despite multiple cleanup efforts over the past several years. Setswetla is built on a former landfill. That complicates the question of how to develop it, because it means that one common technique, known as in situ upgrading, where structures are improved and people don't have to move, can't be used, as the ground is currently too unstable. Instead, says Neil's letter of the Alexandra Renewal Project, a government effort to develop the township, people who live in Setswetla will have to be relocated outside Alex.
Bulk of the Setswetla people will have to move to Limburg Park, Modderfontein, Frankenwald. It's not far away. It's within a radius of about 4 kilometers. It's not miles away. But the responsibility will be for government to convince those people to go there. It's not an easy process.
Letter says there's enough land immediately around Alex that people who already have jobs near the township won't be inconvenienced. And some other progress has already been made. In June, Setswetla received municipal electricity services, meaning that residents no longer have to obtain electricity illegally. Still, some residents say that electricity is too expensive to last them the whole month. And in order to build the power station, the city relocated residents to the other end of the informal settlement, into corrugated iron shacks that the people living there say have left them more vulnerable to burglary. For his part, Ndlovu is skeptical that things will change soon. Mostly, he thinks, because of a lack of government engagement.
They don't even come here. This government, they don't even come. They don't even know each other. Don't think Zuma. They don't know this place. They don't know this place.